I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 million every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire, I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire, I wanna be a billionaire.
Welcome to the first episode of Stop the Bank ENT TV. I am your host, Johnny Vegas, and my first guest, I want to say it's an honor to have him on the show. You know, he's a legend in the game in my eyes. He's, been known as Professor Ogilvy, I'm sure, for all of his life. You can see him on The Weekend with the Family with Marcus Houston on Netflix. Ladies and gentlemen, Dorian Wilson.
What up? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Let me ask, do you consider yourself a legend at this point?
It's so funny you ask, man. I mean, people stop me all the time now, and I have been in the game for a second, and I have people now. Well, we don't want to date myself, but I have people stopping me saying they grew up watching me on television, and which is really cool. And I remember thinking, when I first moved to LA, the people that I worked with, some of the great people that I worked with, I grew up watching myself, Sherman Hemsley in particular. I did a show with him called Good Behavior. And I played his son, but I remember that first day coming on the set and going, oh my God, George Jefferson! I'm working side by side with him, Wow.
I know, right?
and I guess it's that type of feel for, the people that see me on the street that, and I'm real accessible. So people think that they know me and get real comfortable real quick because they, see me so much on television. So in essence, I guess so. I've been around.
That's crazy. Yeah, I find that a little weird too. Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, like I see a lot of people on TV multiple times, but when I see them in person, I try to relate, as if I know them already. And I know it might come off uncomfortable depending on your approach, but it always worked for me. I try not to make it weird. I just try to be cool and kind of give, I guess, celebrities a sense of someone real as opposed to someone approaching them like as a fan or that wants something from them, to kind of build a strong rapport and relationship with them.
But it's a little different from with you because you're in the business, so you have that savvy, that understanding of where to draw the line and how to come at somebody like that. I meet people all the time, especially in the South, no offense, but who have never seen celebrities before and don't quite know how to approach, and so you get the extreme where you're like, get over here and take a bitch with me. It's like, I don't know you, or, the big women who want to hug on me. And that was the script. And I got paid for doing that. You can't just rub on me. And then you'll get the other people, like if I'm with my family, having dinner, and somebody will be polite enough to wait until I'm finished eating, get ready to leave. I'm a fan, and I just wanted to take a picture. I wanted to wait until you finish, and blah blah blah. I'm like, yes. Let's take a photo session. So it's cool.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So tell me, how many times a day that you get called Professor Ogilvy?
A lot. A lot. And at first I was like a little annoyed, but then the alternative is if nobody recognizes you or you're not known for anything, it's like, I'd rather be bothered, so people still know who I am and they appreciate what I did. And the role, let's face it, was pretty iconic, It defined my place as an actor, I would say, even though that was my fifth series regular on television. I'm on 2 other shows right now too, but I'm sure I'll always be known as Professor, and I'm not mad at it.
That's cool. Yeah, you shouldn't be mad. It kind of will open the door. I mean, introduce you to me. As Professor Ogilvy, and then I watched the show. I enjoyed your character, and then I seen you progressing in your career, and it was like, wow. And then to meet you, it's like an honor.
Yeah. So thank you.
No problem, man. So what's some of the latest things you have now? 'Cause I'm sure people probably still only know you for Professor Ogilvy. I looked at your IMDb. It's like
it's mad crazy, man. But the funny thing is, people stop me on the street all the time, and because I was in one position all the time, they knew where to find the Parkers, and it runs like 5 times a day or whatever. So people associate me with that. that, but I've done so many other things. I've done a lot of dramatic stuff. I've done plays and whatnot. So I'm always going to continue to do theater. That's my first love, and that's where I grew up, in the theater. I was in the Bay Area for a long time, and my wife and I kept flying to LA for different parts and roles and auditions. And so finally she was like, you know what, we need to move out here. And we did. I did the waiter bartender thing for 6 months. Ooh. And I landed the role on Dream On, and had that for 6 years. And I was doing Sister at the same time as Dream On. I was juggling both of them, and I was just like, this is overwhelming. But right now I'm working on a movie that I'm filming in Atlanta. I play a bishop, and then I start a play the beginning part of May in Atlanta as well. And then yesterday I just got another role, which is a movie, and I'm not even sure what the script is, but I was offered the role, which is always very nice, to shoot in Nashville. Wow. Yeah. Congrats. Thank you. We just wrapped our 4th season on In the Cut, and that's on Bounce TV our way. And so we did 13 episodes, man, in 11 days. Wow. 13 episodes in 11 days.
What were the hours like for that?
It's just ridiculous, man. I slept after we finished the 2 weeks or 11 days or whatever. Yeah. But it's crazy, and there's nothing to prepare you for it other than just being a professional and being in the business for so long. We have an amazing core of actors that are series regulars. I play opposite of Kalita Smith, who was from the Bernie Mac show. She was the wife on the Bernie Mac show. John Marshall Jones, he was the father on Smart Guy, and Ken Lawson, who was on the Parkers. He played T on the Parkers. He plays my son. Yeah, and so I can't forget Miss Laura, who was from the Queens of Comedy and is my heart and my joy.
The great Laura.
Yeah, oh my God, she's our anchor. But anyway, you have all these people who have been established and been in the business so long, so they can pick up the ball and just keep rolling with it. But it's not easy to do. So a typical day would be me going to the gym at 5 a.m., getting to the studio around 7. We're there until like 10:30 at night. Then I go home and I try to look at my script for the following day, and I'll probably last an hour and a half, and before I passed out, because let's face it, it's a rigorous day. And so like around 3:30, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta learn my lines for the next day. So 3:30 to 5, I'm back at the gym, and that's how each day is. It's crazy, man.
Wow. And I'm glad you brought that up about your script preparation. I was going to ask you, what's your, your process when it comes to learning your lines? Yeah, especially when you got a long script.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
It's hell. No, it's a lot, man. Thank God I grew up in the theater, so you constantly learning lines and whatnot. So pretty much it comes easy for me. But I will just dissect each scene and go over it several times, and then you start getting the continuity of what comes next, and it just kind of falls into place. The real solidification, if that's even a word.
And it's crazy, even if it's not.
Right. Didn't it sound like it was?
I got you.
The real process comes when we get in front of the camera. We're able to rehearse like 3 or 4 times. We have a camera block for the cameras to see exactly the movement that we're going to do. So all the while we're rehearsing and learning our lines, and it helps when you have other people saying their actual lines and the inflection and how it's going to be. By the time the 4th time rolls around, you pretty much got it.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of rehearsal.
But it's a lot. But it's not actually. But I have anywhere from 14 to 17 scenes a day because I'm the lead of the show. So no matter how much you want to learn these lines, it's like you learn the lines and throw it out of your mind, so you can get to the next one. So
Now that's cool that you have the rehearsal preparation to and everybody's telling you, okay, do it like this, do it like that, and you're kind of formulating it together.
Right.
But now, without anyone, how do you prepare for an audition? Because that you got to do alone.
It's the same process, man. I sit and I just go over the script. I used to put myself on tape, like a recorder tape, and do the other people's lines and learn my lines that way. But, you know, for an audition, you usually, at the very most, have maybe 8 pages. The movie that I just auditioned for, it was 8 pages long, and on every damn page, he had a monologue. And I was like, oh, man, are you kidding? Because pretty much after the first or 2 pages or whatever, the casting people, they got it, you know, or the producer or the director, they've got it, whether or not you're right for this role. So it's so frustrating when you have to learn that much. But anyway, I learned these 8 pages. I flew out to Atlanta for this audition. I met with the casting director. He was just like, you know what, man? We talked for like 20 minutes. He was like, you know what? I'm just going to pitch you. You don't even have to audition. And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, no, damn it. You are going to listen to me after I learned all these damn pages. You will listen to me. And I did it and just totally nailed it because I was so comfortable with the casting person. And it was cool, though. But it's a lot.
Wow, that's great. It's funny that you mentioned the whole recording yourself and listening to it. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I do the audition.
I think a lot of people do. Or you grab a buddy or whatever and read opposite of them.
Right.
You know, so, yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
That's what you...
Yeah, I do that because when I started writing music, so in order for me to memorize my rhymes, as I'm writing it, I'm rehearsing it line for line. So when I get to like the end of the song, I know the whole song right then. So I would have to like hear myself say, and then as I'm recording it, as I record it and I hear it, it's easier for me to perform because I already memorized the word while I'm recording it. Right. So I basically just took that process and implemented it on the whole acting thing, and it works for me.
It's whatever works for you, you know, because everybody does it differently, you know. But the end result is you just. You get it in your head, you sleep on it or whatever, let it marinate, and then you come back to it and just nail it, you know, so it's a long process.
Yeah, but I'm down for the ride.
Yeah, right?
So tell me, what inspired you to be an actor? Like in the very beginning, like what made you decide I want to be an actor and get paid from it?
It was the only thing I could do. No, I always... I was like the class clown. You know, I put on little skits. I used to put on magic acts for my family. I really sucked at it, but I charged them anyway. You know, just bigger than life. Yeah. And so when I went through high school, I did forensics, speech tournaments and whatnot, and I excelled in that. I did theater for all 4 years, but I also, you know, ran track and I played basketball, and so that was what I would have done or would have attempted to do, but I just got bit and it just kind of skyrocketed. When I was a junior in high school, I auditioned for the training school that I went to called Pacific Conservatory of Performing Arts, where you have singing, dance, mime, voice, every day, and then you it's a two-year program. Then you graduate from there. You can become a part of their corps of actors who actually perform on the main stage that I think housed like 2,000 people. Right. So when I was a junior, I auditioned. They sent me an acceptance letter for when I graduate because they didn't take undergrads at the time. And so I had this piece of paper when I graduated, and I went through the training program.
That's great, bro.
It was dope. Yeah. It was dope. I was just like, okay, great. I had no idea. I didn't know what it meant, what it entailed. I knew this is what I wanted to do, though.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. So, what motivates you to keep acting and continue this career path at this time after doing so much? I mean, you could probably retire now and die a legend.
One more again, the paycheck. No, it's what I love to do, man. I said this before, and I'll keep reiterating it. Right. To be able to do what you love to do and to get a paycheck for that, there's nothing like it. So doing the Parkers, it wasn't work at all. It was like I was playing with my friends all day, and you know, at the end of the week, I got a paycheck, a great paycheck. You know, but for something I would I wouldn't have did it for free, but I'm glad I got the paycheck. But But this is my craft. This is what I learned to do. This is what I love to do, and to keep reinventing yourself and different roles and different parts that challenge yourself. It's what keeps me motivated. But there's so much more stuff that I still want to accomplish. I want to direct. I want to continue writing. I have a one-man show that I'm doing that I'll be doing this summer that I've done before for a short stint, but I want to actually have a tour of it. It's called Unringing the Bell. And what that means is once a bell has been rung, you can't unring it.
Right.
And so the way it applies to life is when something happens to you, you have to release it, let it go, give it to God, and move on.
Right.
And so I play 7 different characters who are all in this group therapy session, and they all have a story to tell that they have to release and let go, including myself, who is the last character. And I play myself. And I talk about the day that my mother passed, and I started heavily drinking. And so it's all in there, man. It's pretty heavy, but it's super, super funny as well. But the stories are really gripping. And I wrote it. None of it is true, except for my story, except for, bits and pieces of the characters that I've talked to several, people just get ideas and whatnot. But it's something I'm really proud of. And it was cathartic when my mom passed to be able to write this and to release, all the demons and everything that was going through me at the time.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let stuff go. I mean, I let go of her memory, but just of that feeling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that hurt, that pain.
It's something when somebody says, my grandma passed, or I had a friend, but when it happens to you and it's that immediate, it's a whole nother thing, man. And so, it was quite devastating, and but I got through, and I'm on the other side, and
Just continue to pray, brother, and I'm sure she's looking down, super proud of you, man.
Yeah, she better be. That's all I gotta say.
Tell me, man, what is the role you're most proud of?
I don't know. I take a little bit of every part that I do relish a lot of them.
Right.
But there's so much stuff that I've done, so much content. I like I said, I did theater for years. I did all of Shakespeare. I did Slow Dance on the Killing Ground. I did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Just everything, every gamut. But I've had a really good experience with a lot of them, and I wouldn't be able to pinpoint it. But Professor Ogilvy's right up there. Just to be able to play opposite of my entire cast, Monique especially, it was a blessing and a dream. So
that's cool. That's cool. So tell me, what do you look for in a good agent or manager?
Somebody who's ride or die, who you don't have to keep constantly call and get on them and be like, oh, you know what, you have anything for me? What's coming up? I haven't heard from you, but that type of thing. And you said an agent. The difference between an agent and a manager is you have somebody as a manager specifically who is calling up different casting people, different productions, and saying, hey, I have Dorian Wilson. I think he'd be perfect for this part, blah, blah, blah. Or he loves your show. Can he at least take a meeting? So you have that one-on-one. An agent looks at the breakdowns, and the breakdowns is what comes through a computer, and it has a listing of all the different roles. And it says looking for an African-American male between the ages of 40 and 60 to play a smooth-talking, blah, 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 type of, and then my agent then will submit my headshot and my resume, and then the casting person then calls and says, you know what, Dorian would be perfect. We want to see him at 1:30 on Wednesday or whatever.
Okay.
So, but that agent, I need that person to believe in me as much as I believe in myself,
right,
to get myself out there and to really pitch for me.
Right.
So, you have somebody believe in you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to join the Screen Actors Guild?
This is really sad. Well, it's not sad, but it's not heard of. Like 3 months into, yeah, it was crazy. I did the commercial workshop because coming from the Bay Area, and I did theater, and I knew everything there was to know about theater, and so I was like, if I get into a commercial workshop, at the end of the 6 weeks, you have different directors, producers, and agents who then come see you do your finished products,
right?
And so out of the 8 different people that were in the room that came to see us, like 6 of them wanted to sign me. Yeah. And so I picked an agency that was affiliated. They had another branch in the Bay Area that I was familiar with, so I went with them. They sent me out on my first audition. I did a Long John Silver's commercial, and I played this pirate. Then I came in, I blacked out my tooth, I had a bandana on, and I was like in a big ass earring. Yo ho, and doing it, but it worked, and they had to Taft-Hartley me, meaning they had to make me join the union and paid for it because they wanted me for the commercial.
Wow,
is that crazy or
That's
what?
Awesome,
this is
man.
the first shot out, but then after that. It was like 2 months after that that they called me for an audition. I'm like, hey, you remember I got that, what's happening? Yeah. So, it wasn't all, just uphill, but I've been able to go like this, and that's all that matters.
That's
to
all
me.
you need.
Most deaf.
The car's still in motion.
I have never had another job.
Wow.
So that's saying something, and I've been here for 25 years or so. Yeah.
Well, we don't want to age.
I probably cut that back a little bit too. So anyway.
No, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So for up and coming inspiring actors, do you recommend that they join SAG immediately, or at least let their resume build up? Especially now, since there's a lot more non-union work going on. So do you recommend that they join immediately?
Well, I unless you have a story like me, you're not going to join immediately. You're going to get your hours. You're going to have to put in time to, background stuff, to accrue so many hours of being on a union set.
Right.
So it's a whole process. And then the other thing is, if you're a starving artist and, you're just trying to make it, you came here and with $65, the fee is just amazing. It's incredible now. It's like $3,000 or something.
$3,200.
Okay, I guess. Right. You're like, to be exact. Yeah. So, you got to weigh all of that stuff. But in the long run, this is going to be your craft. This is what you want to do. It's beneficial, I would think, and especially if you want them great jobs on television or film. Most of the jobs are union. There are a lot of non-union stuff that is out there, but I would say go for it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I just hear it from, as a newcomer in the acting world, I'm around a bunch of other newcomers, and they're all telling me that they're hearing from other people that you don't want to join immediately because there's a lot of non-union work, but then I'm like, well, you could do 3 background non-union jobs, and that's equivalent to 1 union job as a background, doing the same exact thing. So how does that make sense? And then they're like, oh, but if you join, you can't do non-union work, and then you might have those gaps.
You can't.
And I'm like, but at the end of the day, I think like this, like, I'm not you and you're not me. I might be what they're looking for, I might not, but if I don't try, then I'm just going to be waiting, listening to you. Yeah. So that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, this business is so crazy, so fickle. And one of the things that just reminded me when you were saying that is, going into an audition, you can only do the best that you can do.
Right.
I leave, if I totally nail something and I don't get the role, it's not going to be because I didn't do the best I could, but it's going to be because I'm too tall, too short, too dark, too light, whatever. I don't look right opposite of somebody else. But if I can do the best I can and leave, feeling good about what I did, I release it and I let it go. Versus having a horrible audition, beating yourself up, and then you don't get called on top of it. Like, my life is over. I'm never gonna work. I'm never gonna work in this business. Yeah. So, you just have to release it because you just never know what they want. And, all the variables that play into it. You can just do the best you can,
Right, as you should, you should.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell me, was there ever a role that you didn't want to do or you felt uncomfortable doing, but you still did it for the sake of creating content or the paycheck?
Not so much. Every role I've done, I'm pretty happy about. What I will tell you is that I was shocked by the first job that I had, which was Dream On HBO.
I love that show.
Very rated R. It was like the first Sex in the City. And
don't ask me why I was watching HBO at like 11 or 12.
Exactly. People had to sneak to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I had to do it. Well, I didn't have to do it, but I got the role of Eddie Charles, and I played opposite of the lead character, Martin Tupper. And both of us were like playboys, and we were in bed with different women every week. And so, like, I had all these sex scenes and whatnot. So I don't know if I would have per se, said, this is exactly what I want to do for my first job. But I got a paycheck, too, and I got to... be in bed with different women.
Found the women,
yeah, it was a great job. But I mean, even when they say, they're clearing the set, that means instead of 100 people on set, there's 50 watching you do this awkward, kind of hiding stuff and positioning yourself and whatnot. Something.
So now you mentioned being in bed with different women on that set,
right?
And I know you're married. Was there ever like any jealousy? I'm so sorry.
Well, we've known each other since sixth grade.
Okay.
So we grew up together. We're that close. We're each other's best friend. And but this one particular time, and on Dream On. My wife came to the set, and she was with my sister, and it was an episode where I was engaged to Vanessa Bell Calloway.
Okay.
And we had this engagement party, and so she comes over to me, and she has all this dialogue about how nervous she is and blah, 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 and I'm like, baby, calm down. And so then I reach in, and I give her this big, strong kiss. And then I pulled away, kind of buckled my knees a little bit, and I'm just looking at her, gazing at her eyes, and she's like, say your line, Negro. Your wife is right over there. Say your line. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I say my line. So later on, like the next day, we have what is called dailies, and it's a cassette, it's a tape of what you did the day prior and your different takes and whatnot. So we're sitting there watching together, me and my wife, and so that scene comes up, and I knew it was coming up, but I didn't know how prominent it was going to, be. And so here's that take, and so all of a sudden, like it. Lit my chest up, and we laughed about it, but just stuff like that, but nothing just really over the top. I thank God that I had a dude that I played opposite of that wasn't a lech, because I could have easily fell in and been like, oh man, we get to, hang out with all these babes. And he was married, or still is, I think, to Madeline Stowe, who is, this gorgeous woman who they've been married for many, many years. So he was settled, and thank God. So it was cool. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So tell me, is there a role that you haven't played that you always wanted to, that you haven't done already?
I don't know about a specific role. What I would love to do is like a thriller. Where I play this bad dude and, just a little crazy, a little off.
Yeah, you're always the good guy.
I am, but there are things that I've done that people, may not necessarily have done or have seen. I played this deranged dude that shot up an airplane with a gun and whatnot.
With a gun.
With a gun. And, there's some really dramatic stuff that I've done, but I want to be able to branch out and do more stuff. Do more stuff like that, so people can see another side of me. When I first came to LA, I got this role, Dream On, and played this comedy dude, and so for 6 years, I'm on this television show. People know me now, and I got kind of pigeonholed as the funny guy, and like I said, I've done all of Shakespeare and all these classical stuff and dramatic stuff, and so I wasn't really given the opportunity. So, but that's where theater comes in, and I always go back to theater. Because it enables you to step out of the box and be something different and play something different, given the opportunity.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's the best and worst experience you've had in this industry thus far?
Once again, I mean, I've done so much stuff, it's like hard to just tap into. I don't know. I always enjoy myself on the shows. I'm loving being on In the Cut right now. They just made me a co-executive producer on it. I love working with.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I love working with Bentley Evans, who is oh my gosh, creator of Martin and Jamie Foxx show, just a legend himself. And he writes and directs most of our episodes, but he also allows actors to be actors, and he is the actor's director, and what I'm saying, I say that to say that he gives us the situation. We have the template, which is the script, but we're also allowed to play and have a good time, and throw some stuff in there that's going to be funny, or we think it's funny, but play around with the script. It's not so regiment that we have to follow the script. And the cast that I'm working with is so hilarious on and off camera. That sometimes that they have to cut us up and it's be like, stop, okay, you guys are going way too far. So I'm having a great time. Of course, the Parkers, the Steve Harvey show. I had a great time doing that as well. Wendy Raquel Robinson, who I played opposite of. I played a character by the name of Warrington Steele, and he was an ex-football player. And Steve was my nemesis, or I was his nemesis, I should say. And so we're vying for her affection and whatnot. So that was a lot of fun. I did that for 2 years. There are so many, man. Worse, I will not name the movie, but it was one of our productions.
Oh, man.
I have to say it.
Right.
And it was a stereotypical kind of situation where everybody was late, nobody was prepared, food wasn't right, we sat around for hours at a time, and this was recent actually. This is like 6 months ago, hours at a time before you're called, just stuff like that. I pride myself on being professional as I can, and I think I have a reputation of being on time, showing up, knowing my lines,
being professional,
just doing my job is what it is, and I don't deserve a pat on the back for that. That's where your longevity and you working in this business comes, with your reputation. And so anyway, that was the complete opposite, and it was just. And towards the end, I was just like, I need my paycheck because it's a wrap. And so, you sometimes you don't get paid, and I asked for my money up front.
No, I hear you, man.
Yeah, Monique taught me that. She was like, before she hits that stage, she is getting her money in cash, and well, I'm going to pay you after the box office. No. This is in the contract. This is what I said. And she's not, appeared on stage. And so I've learned that the hard way because, I've done productions where, it was 3 months later when before I got paid. Wow. And so now I need my money up front.
Absolutely.
So, it's not being an ass. It's just, that's business. And
Absolutely.
so, things happen. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about Monique and what she taught you, and now I know you've seen the headlines where she was trying to boycott Netflix, for gender bias. Now, I have a two-part question for that. First, I want to know, do you believe there's gender bias in Hollywood? And two, do you feel that Monique is taking the right approach to get the results she wants?
Okay. So I was hoping we wouldn't do this. But The first part, yeah. The first part, yes, of course, there's a bias, gender, race, sexuality, all of the above, and it's getting better. It's never going to go away. I don't think. And the more that we write and produce and direct our own stuff, the better it's going to get. So you have that. Monique's thing. It's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't get stopped. That asking, what is going on and blah blah blah. I'm not in her mind. I don't understand. That's her decision. I fully understand where she's coming from. Mm-hmm. Going about it the way she did, I would have handled it differently, because I feel like getting everybody else involved in her situation, where you have brothers and sisters who are making minimum wage, and she's fighting for equality, getting paid a certain amount of money, but to the common Joe, they can't relate to the millions of dollars or whatever she was offered. And so, like I said, that's the way that she handled it. I don't think I would have brought everybody in, but I totally agree with the principle of that she stands for.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, because she's made comparisons to like Amy Schumer, who
absolutely
got like $13 million. They offer her $500,000. Yeah, I don't think she's worth that little and that far off.
Absolutely.
Amy. She definitely deserves a whole lot more. She's a legend in the game, but I think she should just do it on her own and then try to sell it, and I think she'll make the money that way. For sure. Now, but do you think there's a double standard with the whole, gender bias and the Me Too movements? For example, I don't know if you've seen that American Idol episode when Katy Perry, she was a 19-year-old was auditioning for her male, and he said he never been kissed or anything like that. And she was like, "What? Oh my God, come here!"
She tried to kiss him.
Yeah, she did. She did, and then he went to kiss on the cheek, and she turned and kissed him in the mouth. Now, if that was Lionel Richie, the co-host, he would have got blacklisted from Hollywood, get off the show. So, do you think there is a double standard?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it gets so out of hand. The thing that I have the problem with is a lot of these different people, and not just women, are coming forth, years later and jumping on this bandwagon of, possibly, getting something out of it, or, defaming or ruining somebody's reputation, where something could have been said years and years ago. Now it's more out in the open, and people are backing each individual or whatever. But that's the problem that I have. It should have been dealt with at the time, not 20 years later. And now it's a thing to do, and But it's never a right situation for anybody to force himself upon anybody, especially in this business, and it happens all the time. So it's like, where do you draw the line too?
That's true. I mean, he didn't have a problem with it, so I guess that's why it didn't blow up. As some people would wanted it to be, but at the end of the day, I'm sure Katy Perry didn't mean anything by
absolutely, and who knows if some of these gentlemen didn't mean it in that's just their personality or whatever, inappropriate and all. But and sometimes it needs to be reprimanded. My whole thing was bring it to fruition when it happens. So
that's true. Yeah. So tell me, how do you avoid distractions and stay focused? Because I know a lot of people that fall into the alcoholism, drugs, and women.
Well, and I'm no different, man. I'm real good, and I'm always professional. But when I do have downtime, that's where the demons come into play, that I'm sitting around, I don't have to be anywhere in a specific time or place or whatever. And so I went through a period of that. Right now, once again, I'm clean, I'm sober, and it's been 4 months.
Congrats.
Yeah, but it could change in a heartbeat, because in this business, it's everywhere. It's so prevalent. We are at entertainment, at parties and events and what have you all the time, and so you're just around it and you try to fit in. And I'm not the most social person, and so sometimes it in the past it had calmed me down, and I'm able to socialize and but now I try to use a different tool and just being focused and knowing what I have to do. But it's such a better way of life, But don't quote me if you see me out in a month or two and I had a little cocktail or whatever. Yeah. But right now it's working for me. So
that's good, man.
Yeah.
And you mentioned like when you have downtime, sometimes those demons come out. But how do you unwind to get away from the industry life?
Well, I surround myself with really good people. The people that are in my life are my family and my friends who I've had for at least 25 years.
Right.
And so they're the ride or dies. They're the ones that if I get a Orkin, pest control commercial, they're like, oh, brother,
you the man.
Yeah, right. Like I'm working with Denzel or something, So
then you probably are the
it's
Denzel.
dope. Yeah. But I don't see myself as that. But you need that sharing squad, and this business is so tough that there is so much rejection. So when something does good happen to you, you need somebody patting you on your back and giving you that extra boost to keep it going.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So tell me, how do you keep yourself looking so fit and young, man?
I'm in that gym.
There you go. That's what I'm getting at.
I am in that gym, and there's nothing more humbling than being on television all the time, and you're like. And the funny thing is, man, I can tell, like especially on the Parkers, the beginning of the season, the middle of the season, and the end. The beginning, I am svelte. I am like gunned up, and I'm like that. We just started that season. Middle, you see me gain a little weight. I'm still intact. By the end, craft service does
craft services.
Oh man, it's
they
like
hook you up though.
But it's too much. It's like every hour there's something new out on the table, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna taste it. But after you done taste 8 things throughout the day, that adds up,
right?
So but I just tried. Well,
have you tried the vegan stuff? No? Yeah, it wasn't for me.
No, but that's why I'm so tough. I hang so tough in the gym.
Yeah.
I like eating what I like to eat. I don't eat bad, but I'll eat what I want to eat.
Right.
And, if there's something that is bad, it is in moderation. And so, that's my discipline right there. But I'm in the gym. I love working out. So I always do that.
That's what's up. Yeah, I try to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Keyword try.
That's all you can do, man. And I love it. My son and my daughter are both gym rats as well, and so I work out with them too. So.
Gotcha. So now, do your kids do they listen to the same music you do?
Yeah. Well, somewhat. I'm kind of eclectic. I listen to jazz. I listen to R&B. I listen to a little bit of rap.
Yeah,
not heavy.
Not the new stuff.
Yeah. But my playlist is pretty extensive.
Okay.
So yeah, but I don't do the explicit lyrics at all. Where I can come into one of their cars and it's blasting. I'm like, no, Dad doesn't do that. But it's not something I'm doing with age. I've always been like that, and so I don't know if I'm just a prude or what. But I didn't like loud music, and I did, and a bunch of garbage, over the top stuff. I feel like it's great to be able to express yourself, but there's some stuff that is just so out there that it's like, who talks like that?
Right.
It's relatable to some people, I'm sure. Not me.
So tell me, if you were stuck on an island and you had one album to take with you, what artist would that be?
I'm old. Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I'm old school, so give me some Luther.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
Okay.
Especially on an island. I need to be romantic and, even if it's just with myself, And what's yours?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Any album. Maybe just the greatest hits.
Right. Okay. I'll go with that too.
Yeah, he's the man, man. But now I hear what you're saying about the newer generation of music. It's a little all over the place. Sometimes it could be explicit, a bit aggressive. But I came from that. As far as like that aggression and battle rap and stuff like that growing up.
But that's how you grow up, yeah.
Yeah, so I can appreciate where it comes from. So. Yeah. But I like the expanding my horizon when it comes to music. I listen to a lot of R&B, salsa music, country music. My girl, she's a huge country fan, so she's playing Blake Shelton and Jason Aldean and all that stuff. And especially being an artist, you want to have your mind open when you create.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to sound the same, because then you'll never really get anywhere. And that sucks in this whole deal.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. I try to expand my horizons and be, accept all variations of music and everything, but I kind of fall into that, the old school stuff, Eric Benet, Lettucey, I just a lot of smooth jazz kind of stuff. That's me.
Do you encourage your kids to get into the industry also?
No, sir.
Oh, really?
No. It was years and years ago on Dream On that they had a little kid scene. And I tell this story all the time. That's why it's like forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
But they had a little kid scene, and I had worked until 3 a.m. And my kids were always talking about doing the show, or they want to be on TV and whatnot. Not Dad put me on TV, but I, in the back of my mind, I was like, if I can help them out, I will.
Right.
So they had a little extra scene with a kids' party scene. And so I brought my daughter and my nephew. Mind you, I got off at 3 a.m. They had to be there at 6 a.m. for this party scene and whatnot. So I asked them if they want to do it. Yeah, I want to do it. And I'll never forget this. So John Landis was directing that episode. So the party's going on, all the little kids are playing around and whatnot. I turn and I look, and in the right-hand corner are my daughter and my nephew, and they're pretty much cowering to each other, not looking at anybody, not talking to anybody, not looking at the camera, nothing. And so John turns to me, Landis, and says, "Damn, Doreen, did you need the $50 that bad?" Never again. So, but no, there was one point that my daughter wanted to do some acting, and I got her headshots and whatnot. And as quickly as that happened, it changed, and she went on to something else. But both my kids are pretty charismatic. My son's into music and producing, and and he DJs and whatnot. And my sister, my daughter, she does a lot of PR and stuff for me as well.
Wow. Okay.
So she does red carpet events and whatnot, but real good kids who can talk to anybody, and I love that about them. So they're not shy being in this business.
That's cool, man. Keep it in the family. It's how the rich stay rich.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, are you into investing at all? Real estate, stocks, bonds, or anything?
Of course. That's why I'm still here, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why I'm still here. I've seen so many people, fall by the wayside. When you're given this opportunity, you make so much money, and it's new money, you don't quite know. We didn't grow up in a time where we were given a blueprint and said, this is what you need to do with your money, invest it here and do that and whatnot. I was fortunate enough that I had somebody take me under the wing, and I have a full portfolio and bought some real estate as well. But like I said, when you're given the opportunity and you don't know, how to make your money, manage your money, there goes that new Mercedes or Range Rover or whatever, or this house that you can no longer afford, because you didn't manage your money. And so, I definitely, and I pass it on to my kids to, to save the money and to invest it.
Yeah, I definitely think that's an important part. Just in life in general, saving money, investing in the right way, and using it wisely.
But that definitely should be part of your course of when you're trying to get into this business, to understand, and especially in music as well. Right. Your contracts are tricky. And so if you don't know anything about your business and how you're handling that, there goes your money as well. Right. That you're giving all your money to somebody else because you didn't read the contract the way it's supposed to be, and so just be smart about it.
It's nobody's business to teach you business. Educate yourself. Right. For real.
Definitely.
Speaking of educating yourself, tell me, what's your advice for an aspiring actor, writer, or future director, whatever, coming to Hollywood? Like, what what's the most effective approach? You know,
Right.
What do you think so?
Okay. No. I taught acting 8 through 18-year-olds in the Bay Area, and one of the first things that I taught them is to get their education. You know, you can be at the right place in the right time and get that perfect job and, you know, this great role. But if you don't have anything to sustain, if you don't have your acting chops and something that your foundation for your acting, you'll be a flash in the pan. Right. It'll be like whatever happened to, you know, such and such, because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
You know, so then get your learn your craft so you're ready when that big break happens, and you'll be able to sustain it. So that, and with hard work and dedication and God's will, that there is nothing that you can't do. You just put your mind to it, and you know, you'll get a lot of no's, but you know, the yeses make it all the worthwhile.
Right, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, you know, being that you've been in this game for so long, and you're like a legend in almost everybody around you's eyes, how determined are you to get that star on the Walk of Fame? Is it even a thing for you at this point?
Oh, that's so funny. I was thinking about that today. I heard Wonder Woman was getting her star today, and you know, that's a legend right there. But I recently, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, walking down the Walk of Fame and seeing, you know, you see those recognizable names and everything, and then you see people that are so obscure that you're like, who the hell? I don't. And I'm like, I should have one of these, you know. So I don't think it's immediate or anything that I am going to be focused on right now. But certainly before my career is over, I would want to be recognized like that. I think it'd be a cool thing.
Yeah, I definitely think you deserve one.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Keep doing your thing.
I appreciate
I'm sure you'll get it, man.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Yeah.
So what's next for you?
Like I said, we wrapped our season 4 of In the Cut, and hopefully, pretty sure, we'll be picked up for our 4th season. So that'll be another 13 episodes. But I leave to go to Atlanta the beginning of May for Mother's Day to do this play, and you know, just keep on that grind, and you know, hitting the pavement and looking for jobs. So you know, I have some things in iron that, you know, you don't want to talk about it until it happens, because then you'd be like, I didn't get that part. Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple of really good projects, movie wise, that I'm up for. And you know, it's pilot season, so anything could happen. But I did get another show. It's called Game On. Okay. And it was picked up by Punch TV. And the premise is it's a dance show. I play a father of 2 young ladies, and I have a son as well. But the 2 women are on a dance squad, right? And there's a big competition, and pretty much we can figure this out. So big competition. One of my daughters hurts herself; she can't enter the big competition, and we pretty much know how it ends. So we got picked up. I actually didn't think the show was going to get picked up. I did it as a favor for a friend who was directing the piece and helped write it. And you know, I was like, I'll lend my name and credibility to the project. And I get this phone call like 3 weeks ago saying, hey, we were picked up for 10 episodes. Ching, ching, ching. Yeah. You know? So it's all good, and I think it's going to be a great show. The young ladies that they have dancing are amazing. I haven't seen any of the finished product yet, so I'll be looking forward to starting that in a month or 2.
Gotcha. Are you writing or directing anything of your own coming up?
I actually, I'm doing a spec for my own show, In the Cut, and so hopefully we'll see that next season. And I have a play that I'm working on too. It's called Under the Elm, and it's about a young lady and a boy who meet when they're really young, and every year their parents take them to these resort houses. And they meet every summer, and so you see them over the years get older and older, and the lives separate, and then they come back together. It's a touching story that I'm so excited about.
Sounds good, man. Well, if there's any audition or acting opportunities,
absolutely. Do you sing?
Boy. Huh? Of course. I'm just kidding.
No, I know you do, man.
I just do my thing when I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. But so tell the people where they can follow you, man.
Well, I don't do a whole bunch of social media, but I am on Instagram, Dorien Wilson _ that's lowercase DORIEN Wilson WILSON _ So check it out.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Well, again, I want to thank my guests. You know, it's an honor to have you on the show. I'm a fan. You're a legend. You know, I aspire to do great things like you, man. And you definitely showed me a lot of support, you know, since I met you.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's, like I said, it's an honor, man. Is there any advice you have for me and what I'm doing?
Keep doing what you're doing, brother. You have so much charisma. I love your stuff. You're gonna be big, man. And you heard that here first, but I'm sure I'm not the only one that said it. But
you're in my mind.
Yeah. I'll get that money from you later. But no, man, you're doing the right thing, and you're going about it the right way, and you know, just putting yourself out there, surrounding yourself with good people. You can't miss.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks a lot, man.
All right,
God
brother.
bless you and everything you're doing, man. Stop the Bank ENT TV, first episode, Dorien Wilson, Johnny Vegas. Make sure you stay tuned for more episodes to come. Thank you for watching.
Peace.
I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 million every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire. I wanna